I have not been recording anything yet. I'm trying to get on the good mic and
No, don't bother. This is priceless.
Do I really sound that bad?
Yes,
Oh,
I
man.
can't wait till you hear. You sound like freaking, dude. You sound like
You
the
sound
fucking.
definitely congested as fuck.
You sound
That's
like
great.
the sick cat at the Humane Society. It's
Oh,
really,
yeah.
really. Let me tell you.
He muted so he could cough.
Let me tell you how long it's been here.
Basement Road Show.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Welcome to the Basement Roadshow podcast, a very special E3 jam-packed megatacular episode of the Basement Roadshow podcast. I'm Tim Smith, and my partner in crime, the Wario to my Waluigi, is joining me. Grant Patterson. Grant, E3 is kicked off. We're here. We're going to talk about it. What's going on, man?
A shitload of games. A shitload of games.
You mean the Vidya games?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I love E3. Like seriously, it's the most wonderful time. Like I'm serious, man. This shit is nerd Christmas every fucking year.
Did he deliver? Did the fat man deliver this year at E3? We'll get into it very soon. But Grant, I had some interesting personal news this week. Grant, I bought the first Sony gaming product I have purchased since I was in college. I am a Sony PlayStation 4 Pro owner.
One of us.
Here I am, well-documented Xbox fanboy. We'll get into that later. But, man, I was tired of missing out on the great single-player experiences that reside on that system. Having a 4K Blu-ray doesn't hurt either. And I'm excited, man. You popped some games off over at my house. You gave me that Dragon Ball. You gave me that Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. I'm ready to get into all that. I'm playing a little Horizon Zero Dawn right now, too. An amazing thing. The Pro looks great in 4K. So far, I'm pretty damn impressed, man.
Yeah, I've been thinking about picking up an Xbox, but until they can give me something that I know for a fact that I will want to play, and probably have 2 or 3 games like that, then I don't feel good about spending that amount of money, because I want to go buy the One X. Like, I want to go get the big boy system.
Right.
But you...
Yeah, price drops. Price drops for E3 on both of the major consoles, so
which is good, but one of them is still much closer to $500 than the other one is, and that kind of kept me. Well, I bought a PlayStation 4 Pro. I already had a PS4 and I bought a Pro.
Look at you.
So I know, like I'm deep in the game now. I mean, I'm looking at all the discs I got in this office, and
you're Steve Winwood. You're back in the high life again, sir. For
That's
sure,
it, brother. That's it. But you're part of the club now, which means you can actually play the fine digital entertainment like Gundam Versus. But
oh, here we go with that shit again. I'm sure I'll have to bend my thumbs to that shit sooner or later. The controller's definitely something that's taken me some time to get used to. But enough about all that. We've got some guests who are going to be on the pod with us tonight. We've got Gordon Kirshner coming back on the pod. Gordon, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, and you all get to hear me now in crisp, clear HD with a new mic.
Oh, look at you. I'm not sure I like what's happening here. And he's resurrected, everybody. He's back from the dead. We didn't know he'd join us this episode. He's a little bit under the weather, so pardon him if he sounds like shit. But Danno Waddell is joining us as well. Danno?
Yeah, so I not only got sick today, I got sick at my lady friend's house, so I'm actually on the road right now too to try and get back home and get back on my good quality microphone. So I'll do my best.
That's dedication.
That's
Literally-
dedication.
Literally
I love
phoning it in, folks. He's literally phoning
Quite
it in.
literally phoning it in. I'm like, wow, dude. You hopped
mean-
on, and I'm like, this is some real deal McDonald's tech you got bringing to the show tonight, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, Danno dad joke Waddell. Turns out he phones in more than his jokes.
Yeah. Wow.
Ooh.
Wow. Gordon trying to start off strong.
Woof.
I gotta be honest, the only way Danno could sound worse right now, we should just pretend he's our correspondent calling us from the space station.
That's it. He's
Yeah.
calling the wreckage of Mir.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us. Orbiting the Earth is Danno Waddell. He's going to talk about some games until he gets home and gets on his real microphone. But,
We might have some other special guests showing up tonight too. We'll see. Depends
we
on what
might.
happens.
Crossing our fingers that happens. So we've got some. We're going to break this down into the big shows. We're going to talk about those. We're going to give you our impressions of the Microsoft show. We're going to talk about the Sony show. We're going to talk about the what Nintendo had to offer, and then there'll be some random musings. So check it out. We're going to go ahead and get into our first segment. There it is. You know what time it is. It's time to talk about Microsoft and what is next for Windows gaming and of course, the all-important Microsoft Xbox console. What happened, guys? What happened in
they
Xbox?
showed off their same 3 franchises, and then they took credit for a bunch of stuff that wasn't theirs. And
Wow.
then they kind of
3 seconds
this
in,
is
and
where Tim and I
we're
are gonna
shitting solidly all over Microsoft's presentation.
I should rewind this. This is where like Tim and I are gonna butt heads because I've never owned an Xbox, and Tim is like all aboard the Microsoft ship. But like they
I
actually,
wouldn't be the only
gotta
one
be
this
honest,
time, though. Not this time, Gordon. I'm not the only one aboard thinking Microsoft had a pretty decent presentation this time.
Yeah, actually, I'll be honest. I really actually thought their press conference was pretty good. All jokes aside,
The serious talk.
it was-
They won E3. If we're gonna be real, if I'm gonna be absolutely real about it, I feel that
Yeah,
the
as
bar
far
that
as-
was really set low. But in terms of like shows, their show
Couldn't
actually,
say it without a little bit of shade.
No, it's not just that. It's the fact that like Gordon does have a point. They showed off a lot of stuff that's like, okay, from the same fucking 3 things we always freaking hear about. But they did take a lot of credit or show off like, oh, this exclusive premiere and da 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 da, and it's like stuff that's going to be everywhere. So it's not really exclusives. But what I will say is the stuff they showed off that was their own all looked very well put together. And they came out there with a mission, and they accomplished that mission, and I think they deserve every single bit of credit for doing that.
All right, so what did Microsoft kick it off with? Halo Infinite.
Yeah, Halo Infinite. It
Halo
looks pretty,
Infinite,
but what
which-
the fuck is it?
So we know as much about Halo Infinite as we did going into E3, I would say, correct?
Yeah, we learned a name, guys. Pack it in.
We actually, I think it was Kotaku that reported some stuff. Like they got some feedback from 343 about like some clarifications. Like we know it takes place after Halo 5. We know it's gonna focus on Master Chief because we don't want to play not Master Chief, guys. That's not why we're playing Halo. They learned that lesson the hard way in
Arbiter.
Halo 5.
I love the Arbiter.
I mean, Arbiter's pretty cool too. I would go for some Arbiter, but like not some random other fucking.
no,
Space Marine
I would
shit
play
on
as
my
Keith
face.
David Arbiter in his own game in a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah, that's fine for sure. But so it's gonna focus on.
Don't give us any more Spartans. We gotta lock that shit down.
Yeah, we gotta lock the Spartan shit down, and then give me Master Chief. I need more John. So Master Chief, that's like gonna be the focus, I guess. And I guess the art style is supposed to pay more homage to the older games, so it looked a bit more stylized and a little less like realistic looking, at least in the cutscenes. So that's kind of all we know, though. It takes place after Halo 5, and it's got a new art style. Ooh, okay. Gonna need to see gameplay.
I just want to preface this for everyone who's a new viewer to the Basement Roadshow podcast. Gordon hasn't experienced joy in a very long time. So each topic we talk about, his name is Fun Shitter in our Discord for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely shine the fun. But I'm actually, like, it is coming out for Windows 10. So if there's one thing to be, like, super excited for, it's like finally they're going to get us a fucking Halo game on PC. Like, that's all I goddamn want.
Well,
Like, give me
hopefully-
that shit. I will. There are so many opportunities where I would throw money at Microsoft, and this is one of them. Like, just take my money, let's go. So, yeah.
Well, hopefully it's a little more inspired than Halo 5, which I think was what, as a fanboy, I would say is the weakest entry in the franchise. Grant, I think, agrees with me on that one as well.
Oh yeah, as I'm not really as much of a Halo fanboy as I am a Halo student, to the point where I am the kind of mega nerd that reads a bunch of fucking novels on the subject. So yeah, Halo 5 was ass.
Yeah, straight up. It's still the only one I haven't beaten the campaign and on Legendary, so it's sad. But Forza Horizon 4, we spoke about the fact that Microsoft was gonna show off their heavy hitters, and Halo out of the gate. We also saw some stuff from Forza Horizon 4, or sorry, Forza Horizon.
Forza Horizon 4.
Forza Horizon 4. We saw some stuff from that. God damn it, they make a pretty ass racing game.
Whew.
And Horizon 3 was a great fun arcade racer. I'm not as well versed in the simulation franchise that just is Forza Motorsports, but Horizon 3 was a blast. I played it a ton of it, and Horizon 4 looks like it's heading right in the same direction.
Yeah, Horizon 4 looks like a ton of fun, and especially in a genre that I feel like has kind of fallen off as far as, like, we don't just see that many, like, standard racing games anymore.
Yeah, the annual Need for Speed titles have kind of slowed down, and so I agree with you on that.
Yeah, so it's like to have just a high quality racing game, and there's nothing that the Forza team has ever put out that's been bad, and certainly like all the Horizon games have been really good. I've really enjoyed playing Horizon 3 on my PC. It runs great, and I'm excited to see more from this team, especially now that they're under new ownership. So
yeah, it definitely should be something interesting. Another great entry into that franchise. One of the biggest things that I think came out of E3 is probably one of the games everyone is most excited about would be Bethesda and Fallout 76. Guys,
Yeah.
what do you think of the turn that they're making on Fallout 76? Grant, what do you think about the direction in terms of the gameplay?
I usually shy away from anything involving or even resembling an MMO, so I'm personally kind of skeptical. Like, if it's Fallout by way of World of Warcraft, you can count me out. But from what I've seen, it looks really cool, and I'd be a liar if I said I wasn't intrigued. It's a cool concept, and I think Bethesda has reached enough of a level of maturity as a studio and as a publisher to be able to really bring that home.
yeah, coming from someone who I've never enjoyed Fallout, everyone who's always tried to get me into Fallout, I feel like does so in the worst way, which is they're like, here, watch me play Fallout, and it's just them picking up junk in the wasteland. But like, I was watching it, both the trailer they showed at the Microsoft conference and later that day at their own conference when they showed off more gameplay, and I was like, wow, this actually looks really, really cool. So I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited for this game.
Yeah, it looks like something that intrigues me. I've played Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, neither of which I was able to, not that you really complete a Fallout game, but I never really advanced all the way through. It's definitely a time-intensive game, but I think the concept here definitely looks a little interesting, and I think it's something I might check out.
Yeah, the idea that you're playing cooperatively in the Wasteland is a cool idea.
Yeah.
That I like. I like that a lot. And I think that if you can kind of get like a group of people together and kind of, band together and build something together or survive together or take on shit together, I think you could really kind of make it your own. And that's where a lot of stuff such as like Destiny and Borderlands, like that's all been kind of heading there. So if they put more of an RPG slant into that style, I think they could be playing with lightning in a bottle here.
Right. Yeah. RPG looter shooters, indeed. There's definitely going to be some more of those that we'll be mentioning later in the pod. But heavy hitters for Microsoft, and we knew we were going to see some Gears of War. We heard rumors that we were going to see multiple Gears titles, and Microsoft definitely followed suit. We saw 3 different Gears of War titles being displayed. The first being Gears of War Mobile Funko Pop.
Wow, I gotta say, of all of the moments, even though I will generally agree with
Gordon's been
Grant's
waiting.
take,
He's
I've
been
waiting. For
waiting.
this. Man,
He's been fucking waiting.
I will generally agree that Microsoft had a better overall conference and presentation of all the 3 major console developers. But holy crap, Gears Pop is quite possibly the dumbest thing I've ever seen at an E3, bar none. Like that's my hot take for the evening. Piping hot, in fact. Don't touch it, you'll get burned. Like,
yeah, steaming. More like steaming hot.
Oh, it's just like, talk about like brand synergy, or rather the lack thereof. Let's take these little like kid geek oriented collectibles and then give them to the franchise that has chainsaws and monsters. This is a great
give me
idea.
a fucking break, Gordon. Give me a fucking break. How many
He's not
adults?
wrong.
No, stop it. How many adults do you? I would argue that the percentage of adults who own Funko Pops and collect Funko Pops is higher than that of those who are adolescents or children.
I mean, look, if adults want to admit that, that's on their time. But
I can guarantee you that the Venn diagram for Funko Pop and Gears of War ownership overlaps perfectly with a third like circle of massive significant depression that they're dealing with.
Holy shit.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you saw that and said, man, I can't wait to play that, that's cool. I'm pretty convinced we can't be friends.
This is the daily
You fucking
dose of Grant.
elitists just shitting all over your own people. I fucking hate both of you.
They're not my fucking people. What are you
I
talking about?
don't know if I'm taking ownership of those people. I don't think that's happening.
They're video game players, guys. They're your people.
That's okay. The thing is this. I firmly believe that everyone is more than entitled to enjoy any variety of crap they so choose. It's our right as modern human beings to enjoy whatever bullshit that we decide is not just bullshit. That's cool. If that's your brand of bullshit, I drink to you. Enjoy your bullshit. I am not joining you.
Well, I mean, it's just, let's call it what it is. It's Microsoft. It's Microsoft noticing the wind of change, if you will, like the fucking scorpions. And it's them noticing that mobile
Not the wind
is
of change you smell.
yeah, mobile is starting to hit though, and some of these games are becoming successful on mobile platforms. You know, with the success of Fortnite on mobile, PUBG has been relatively successful on mobile. So why not bridge the gap between both of those and try to offer a Gears of War title that's maybe a little bit more accessible to the younger folks, but via Funko Pop. And you know, I think they're just doing the same thing that a lot of other companies are doing, Nintendo included. They took a property and tried to make that a mobile property. So it's not really something that's not been seen in the industry, and they're kind of just really using one of their own IPs to capitalize on a trend that's been successful for other companies.
I think they'd do a better job doing that with Halo than Gears, though. I think it would have been a hell of a better fit. Trying to do this shit with Gears is, to me, is like you're taking fucking chainsaw execution curb stomp game and bringing it to the masses. Like, it's a bit of a tone shift.
I guess my other thing too is that the whole thing feels very focus group tested. You're like, what do kids like right now? All right, GameStop's selling a lot of those fucking Funko Pop things, and
And they love their phones and they love
love their
Fortnite.
phones
Quick,
and
put
love
it all
Fortnite.
together.
Yeah, let's put it all together with the franchise we have. Let's get that.
Twirl
shit
your
out there.
mustache and print the money, see?
So that's I guess like my whole thing, which I would say almost all of the Microsoft press conference really didn't feel all that focus group tested, except for that. That's why like I take such an issue because it's like the rest of the conference was legitimately very good, and then Gears pop.
Yeah, I agree that, I don't besmirch them for coming out with it. I think they'll probably make their money from it.
Besmirch.
But perhaps that could have been something that was just released post E3. But there were two other Gears titles that were debuted. Gears, basically a Gears of War RTS. I'm not a huge RTS guy. Do you guys play Halo Wars at all or anything like that?
So I don't know if it's an RTS or it's like a turn-based like Fire Emblem, like tactics or XCOM type game. I wasn't super clear. They showed off gameplay like really briefly for it. I don't know.
I didn't really get kind of what it was.
I never played Halo Wars, but the idea of playing Halo Wars when I have a computer, even though I know they're on a computer now, is like digging a ditch, but like with a hammer. It's just like not the right like platform to play that kind of game. So
I played Halo Wars 1. You are absolutely correct.
It's just
it's like trying to dig a ditch with chopsticks.
Yeah, like I'd rather
shit doesn't make sense.
I'd rather play an RTS.
Stay tuned for more ditch digging references later.
I'm all about weird metaphors.
Hey, can't you use a keyboard and mouse on the Xbox One now?
Hey everybody, Danno's back from the dark side of the moon.
He's making his way through orbit.
I don't know if you can actually. I know you can use keyboard and mouse now, but I don't know if it maps the same way. I know you can play Halo Wars 2 on PC, and I'm sure that's a much better experience.
I think Halo Wars 2 is playable on PC, although what I've heard about the PC version is just like, yeah, okay, the controls are better, but then you also kind of realize that this game is not designed for like it doesn't have the same sort of strategic depth that like a made-for PC RTS does that can account for like having all those million buttons and things.
Which is a shame because the original Halo Wars was like the swan song of Ensemble Studios, and if anyone who's ever given a shit about RTS in the past knows that they were the guys behind Age of Empires, which is one of the finest RTS games ever made in my opinion.
But we digress. Gears of War also showed off their the latest cornerstone entry into their franchise, Gears of War 5. We got a cutscene from that. Looks like we're going to be picking up the story a few years after where Gears of War 4 left off. It looks to be, whether if you like Gears, you're probably happy because it looks. I fucking hate you guys so much.
Oh man, it's okay. We're gonna be equal opportunity shitting on stuff in the next segment. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, everybody. Just so you know, I dealt with this all day today in fucking Discord.
Don't you worry about this because
I'm doing it on a podcast.
I'll leave your homegirl alone. All right, because I'm gonna tell you what right now. Just wait for Sony. Just hold on.
Oh yeah, like it's
hold on.
We're gonna have some fun with that.
Anyone who has any freaking delusions about me being a fanboy, you're about to watch me whoop that company's ass. Stay tuned.
Well, Gears of War 5 was debuted. I'll be short but sweet. Gears of War 4 was pretty well reviewed in terms of the Xbox One's first entry into the franchise. I played it personally. I enjoyed the game. Looks like this is going to be kind of in the same vein. We didn't see anything major. We didn't see any new game modes or anything like that. We saw some pretty cinematics, which Gears of War is definitely famous for. And looks like we'll be continuing the story of Marcus Phoenix and his son and some of the other folks we've picked up along the way. But I'll probably check it out because I do like the story. And again, like I said, I enjoyed Gears of War 4, but Gordon hates fun, so why would he give it a fair shake?
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Although I will say that the Gears 5 trailer, it looked like they had smoothed out some things from the gameplay, and it looked pretty fluid and fun. And I'm not going to bemoan that, certainly. I think that one's also coming direct. I think everything they revealed is coming also to Windows 10, so I mean...
Their exclusives, their exclusives are coming to Windows 10.
So I mean,
we worked in Fallout 76 in there. That's not a Xbox exclusive. That's not coming to Windows 10.
Yeah, that's just probably gonna come to Steam. 'cause
Steam,
who
yeah, I would
cares?
assume that'll be a Steam
But
game.
like, as long as I can keep playing, honestly, if Microsoft wants to keep serving up these exclusives and they turn out to be great, and I can just buy them through the Windows Store, you're just gonna find me playing that right alongside you. Except I don't know, maybe next I have to buy an Xbox Live subscription to like play online for that. So we'll see. But like, definitely interested. I mean, it looks fun. So
Tunic?
woo! You mean
That shit looks
Zelda?
cool. I'm sorry, that shit looks cool.
It's like 3D Dot Game Heroes decided to steal more DNA from Zelda, which is only a good thing, really. And
Nah.
like,
Nah,
the
I'm gonna have to stop
perspective
you right
looked
there.
great.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
Let me get some
Oh,
popcorn
my
here.
son, my son.
Uh-oh.
What it looks like, Tunic, to me, I guarantee you, if I had to sit there and look at it and say exactly what I felt the first time I saw that trailer, it didn't look like 3D Dot Game Heroes. It looked like, you know what Fez did for platformers? You know what? You remember that game?
Yeah, Fez was pretty fun.
Yeah, what Fez did for the platformer, Tunic looks like it's doing for Zelda.
Yeah, that's fair, at least with like the perspective that it had and things like that. That like weird isometric,
Yeah.
sort of minimalist perspective. I mean, it looks really fun. I've always wondered why more people haven't tried to just outright steal Zelda and put a different skin on it. So yeah, and I always felt like Microsoft's library could use a little less grim, dark sci-fi shooter and a little more like lighthearted adventure type stuff. So that's
Like back in the day, like Viva Pinata and shit like that?
Yeah, there used to be more of that, and then we lost all of the like light-hearted stuff, and then kept going in.
Jet Set Radio Future.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we know, like somewhere a Sega like Europe exec is like sneezing and be like, huh? What?
Yeah, exactly. That was
I
me.
think Sea of
That was me,
Thieves
Sega
satisfies
exec.
that a little bit.
Sea
I
of
think
Thieves
Sea-
is a good addition too.
It's an
too.
irreverent title. There's just not quite enough meat on that bone yet, but I
It'll
think it
get
will.
there.
I think it'll improve a little bit. They're adding new areas this summer in July, and there's going to be another huge event where they add more stuff in September. So I think that will improve that game. But I think it's a little slim for those folks who got into it at launch, like myself. But
That's what I felt like it would be when I saw it last year, and I didn't. I saw it and it looked cool, but it didn't look like it would be enough to sustain me. But I will say this: do you know what showed up last year and also showed up this year? That I don't care how much meat is on there, I'll find the meat on that fucking bone. Is Crackdown 3. I might actually buy that fucking system for Crackdown 3. Mark my words. If it turns out to be good, I'll buy an Xbox.
This
for
is
that.
like the cycle. You bought the first Crackdown because you needed to play the Halo Reach beta.
That was Halo 3
and-
beta.
Halo 3 beta, that's
The
right.
Halo
Sorry,
3
I got
beta.
ahead of myself. And now you're gonna buy a console just to play Crackdown 3.
Dude, I played Crackdown 1, absolutely fell in love. Played Crackdown 2, most people didn't like it as much. I didn't like it as much from the zombie enemy whatever crap that just wasn't as good as the gangs were in the first one. But it was still hella fun. It was lots of just running around and just blowing shit up. And I played that game for months, like on and off, and would just come back to it. It was like Dynasty Warriors, but better. And if Crackdown 3 is anything like that, if they can get it right after it's been delayed again, if they can delay it to February 2019 and have it be really, really good when it comes out, I'll pony up.
Terry Crews, man, it's got some Terry Crews in it. How
I'll
can
pony
you go
up for
wrong
Terry
there?
Crews. I'll
Yeah,
pony
it's
up
been-
for Terry Crews.
It's the off-delayed Crackdown 3. We were disappointed to hear that it was getting pushed back yet again. But it does look like Microsoft they need it. They need something like this to hit, and so hopefully that's something that early first quarter of 2019 can actually be a success for them. Devil May Cry 5.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. This
The king has returned, motherfucker. Yeah.
That trailer looked dope as shit, dude. That looked like so much fun to just play.
Oh yeah.
All the DMC games, even some people say like the DMC that came out from Ninja Theory, like it's good. It's a good action game. I'll give them their due. I don't necessarily consider it a Devil May Cry game, but it's definitely fun. but the Capcom developed Devil May Cry series 1 through 4, actually dropped to 1, 3, and 4, are really, really good. I have a huge love affair with that series. So seeing that pop up, that shit brought a tear to my eye, boys.
Yeah, I realized I own all of the games on PC and have really only dabbled in like DMC4, so I should probably go and like play through that trilogy at some point.
How dare you? You haven't played 3?
I haven't played 3. I've
Oh,
only really played 4. The reason for that is that I think I owned 3 separately on Steam. Now I own the whole HD trilogy through Twitch, but like the 3 PC port is fucking bad.
Yeah, it's
like it
bad.
just runs at bad resolutions and has bad like I was just like ugh. But it like came with 4 and it was cheap, so I was like, whatever.
If you get the one that's the HD collection, that I've heard that PC port is way better.
Yeah, so I have that through Twitch Prime. So it's on my
Nice.
Yeah,
Twitch
I have that too.
client.
I gotta download that shit.
Yeah, and I'm like down. This has been a good E3 actually for character action games, as the made-up genre I would say. So I'm excited to dive into more of that. I was surprised to see Nero coming back, but really all they have to do is make more than half a game, and then they're good. They just don't have to repeat the DMC4 mistake.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no. It as somebody who's not quite as invested in the Devil May Cry series, I played. I know I played 1 and 2, and I think 3. I did not play 4. But that makes me want to pick it up for sure. That, like I said, the gameplay showed off, but like it didn't just look awesome, because it did. It looked awesome for sure. But the gameplay in itself just looked like you were just gonna have a shitload of fun figuring out new combos and just all the kinds of crazy ways that you could eviscerate demons and the like.
Just
So
whoop that ass.
yeah,
dude.
yeah. I'm looking forward to that. That one's gonna be a good one. We saw a great trailer for a new property from the folks who brought us The Witcher, Cyberpunk 2077. That was a hell of a trailer, guys. What did you think about that?
Oh man, that is like everything I love about Cyberpunk just was in one beautiful, beautiful trailer. I'm
Bingo.
so excited for that. It's not even funny.
It was really dope.
I'm
Yeah.
psyched. Some people are like, the news has come out that it's a first-person RPG.
Yes,
And-
they had gameplay behind closed doors today.
Yeah, and some people have like a huge beef with that, and I'm like, you know what? You have to remember two things. A, you probably need to be able to see that world from a first-person perspective to appreciate things like HUD overlay, because you've got some cybernetic eyes or some shit like
Do, like
that.
some augmented reality type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it would be super cool. The other thing you
And-
have to consider is that they've made 3 third-person games, and I'll be honest, Witcher 1, gameplay-wise, sucked. Witcher 2 started to figure out, and Witcher 3 was actually good. And now, like, people only remember Witcher 3. Like, they don't remember the first 2 Witcher games. So, like, I'm down with them trying something new and, like, going a different direction.
Well, I mean, if they can take the lessons that they've learned from the first 3 Witcher games and apply them to something as big as this, which it looks like they're actually doing. Some of the shit that showed off in that trailer was just like black comedy all over the place.
Oh,
and I'm
it's
like,
great.
this is fucking brilliant. Like, they understand what makes that genre work.
They had a whole
Uh,
bunch of hidden press release shit in the trailer too. That
Oh, yeah.
that they ended up figuring out. So, but
Yeah.
it's something I'm definitely excited for. There's they were talking release date on that yet. I don't.
No, it's been in development for a while. It's actually, I think,
Long time.
based off of, like, some sort of pen and paper RPG, I think. Don't quote me on that. But I
With
believe that's what I read.
Cyberpunk,
But yeah.
the only Cyberpunk, I don't know if it's Cyberpunk is an actual pen and paper RPG. I know Shadowrun is.
Yeah, this isn't Shadowrun. Shadowrun's also a really cool property. Someone please do something with that that's not that weird Xbox 360 shooter or whatever.
No, they actually made a Shadowrun Returns on PC. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think I actually owned that, but picked it up in a Humble Bundle, and like every game I pick up in a Humble Bundle, it just kind of sits in my Steam library, and I never do anything with it.
Battletoads making an appearance. Battletoads.
Without seeing gameplay, I want to believe, but
Yeah,
at
it was
this
just a
point-
nostalgia play for sure.
Yeah, like although I will say this, the little announcement with like the guitar in the background where they were playing the Battletoads theme, that shit was hitting me in the fucking feels.
That game was hard as shit.
It's impossible to beat if you're playing with 2 players. You know that, right?
No.
Like it's literally impossible to beat because there's a section where you have to like both get through like one of the swoop bike whatevers that 2 players can't get through a particular corridor. So it's literally impossible to beat. It's fucked up.
That's amazing. I love.
Yeah.
And
game
that's
shit
like in the
that.
second. That's like in the second level of the game too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Crazy.
but hopefully they skip that shit. It's supposed to be like 2.5D hand-drawn HD like sprite graphics, which I'm psyched. Anytime anyone wants to freaking make HD sprites, like more power to you.
Oh yeah,
More
that
power
shit's a lot
to
of
you.
work.
Well,
So-
that's something that we definitely want to see some gameplay to kind of decide where we really want to go with that and see what direction they're taking it. It's definitely going to be interesting. So we saw a bunch of studios Microsoft has acquired. Looks like they've learned maybe perhaps the error of their ways and want to be more software focused going forward, which means by more software focused means finally becoming software focused.
Right, for a software company at heart.
Yeah. In order to try to compete with the awesome narratives that have been happening over on Sony and their PS4 for this console cycle. So looks like Microsoft is trying to acquire some good young studios and maybe see if they can start cranking out some great new IPs.
Yeah.
I want to think that it'll work out fine. I have all the highest hopes and the best wishes for everybody involved. I really do. But when I look at Microsoft's track record over the past, let's say 15 or so years, Rare is a husk of what it was. Lionhead no longer exists.
Oops.
Rare just put out a huge title in Sea of Thieves. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
but
like they're a dead
huge,
developer.
A huge title that you yourself just said there's not a lot of meat on the bone quite yet. And then as good as that is, it's the biggest things they've come up with are like Viva Pinata and Kinect games and
Yeah,
Well,
they made
there's
a
no
lot
doubt
of
they got
Kinect
put in
games.
Connect Purgatory for a little
they
while.
did.
That was,
they
that was a
squandered.
horrible
Maybe, like,
waste of
We can
talent.
hope that the Kinect being dead will allow them to soar again.
I hope
wa-
so.
I wondered
I
the
hope
whole
so.
time, like watching it, and they kept announcing studios. I figured, like, if I was Satya, the CEO of Microsoft, I'd be watching that shit, going, "Wait a minute, did Phil Spencer get my credit card when I was drunk?" It's just like blank check, bought a bunch of studios.
They picked up good studios. They picked up really good studios.
Oh, yeah.
Like them picking up Ninja Theory, smart move. I mean,
Yeah, that was a really
especially
good
after
call.
freaking what is it?
Hellblade.
Hellblade.
Hellblade. That Hellblade was unbelievably critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, they did what Heavenly Sword. They did Enslaved, Journey to the West, and DMC.
Yeah. So I mean,
So,
they've
like,
done some good stuff.
They've got pedigree. They've done some really good work in the past, and I'm hoping that they've learned from their mistakes because it's not just the mistakes that they've made with studios they've owned, it's mistakes that they've made with other studios, like the people that were in charge of rebooting Phantom Dust or
Whoops.
fucking over Platinum when they were trying to make Scalebound. Like, I
I'm
don't
amazed
want
that,
to see
like,
these guys get
Platinum
burned.
Is willing to release Nier Automata on Xbox after all that, because some of those guys hold some grudges.
Hey, they got to get paid too. Well, I don't think they give a fuck. I think
The
they're just like, we'll make money.
almighty dollar for sure. And guys, have you ever heard of a gaming franchise called Kingdom Hearts?
Boy, if you hadn't, there's no way you don't fucking know about it after this E3. let me
God
tell
damn
ya.
right.
Wow.
How many different presentations involved Kingdom Hearts?
I think 3. I think it was Microsoft, then Square Enix, then Sony. In that order.
Constantly handing you church pamphlets at this point. Jesus, I feel bad for people at LA.
Guys, I got to be honest. Kingdom Hearts showed up at my work today.
I'm not surprised.
I was leaving for lunch. They were in the lobby. I fucking turned right around. I ducked into the bathroom and I just fucking waited it out. And finally they left. But Jesus Christ, Kingdom Hearts is everywhere. Disney is just hitting everyone in the face, neck, and chest with their properties and trying to get Kingdom Hearts out there. Hell of a push. Any interest in this franchise, guys? I ruminated on it earlier that I'm a noob when it comes to Kingdom Hearts. I don't really know a whole lot about it. I've watched it be played a little bit on the PS2. I think and that's about all I know.
Old school. Let me just say, if you're not in this franchise, just do yourself a favor and fucking don't. Just don't go down that rabbit hole. It'd be like telling someone to, like, even if you were like a huge Star Wars fan, being like, you need to read all of this extended universe shit right now. Like, just don't. Just save yourself from going down that rabbit hole. It's so convoluted at this point from like a story perspective. It's just like, no one knows what's going on. I don't know any single person that has played all of Kingdom Hearts that can legitimately explain it all in a way that makes sense. But, I mean, I've played all the games at this point. I'm going to buy it. They've got my money.
That's high praise. That's high praise. He's like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on, but fuck it. I'm going to pay the mouse.
This shit is so messed up. It's so all over the place that I cannot believe I'm throwing them $60 immediately upon release.
No questions asked. But it's like, it's sort of like when you
what makes less sense, the narrative or your compulsion to buy it?
Yes.
We've gotten into Gordon's horrible purchase history on previous episodes.
I'll be honest.
Boy.
I'm trying to think back to what got me into Kingdom Hearts. I think I went to a friend's house because I'd seen the commercials on TV, and I remember watching the commercials on TV. This is like when I first started getting into Squaresoft games.
This is the shittiest peer pressure story I've ever heard.
Yeah, and like I've seen the commercials on TV, and I was like, "This shit's dumb. Like, what the fuck is even going on?" Like, I played Final Fantasy X, that shit was lit, and now you've got like fucking Mickey Mouse in this. Like, what's going on? And I went to a friend's house and like I played it. I was like, "Yeah, it's actually kind of fun." And I bought it, and now here we are, like 20 spin-offs later, and they got me. They got me hard on that side of things. I don't know. It was the perfect game at a formative part of my life to like get sucked into, and now we're here.
Wow, this game sounds like it's a part of fucking Gordon's soul and
I've
narrative.
played way too many hours of Kingdom Hearts.
Basically, is this something where you feel like you're obligated? So it's like, we got together young, and it'd be a shame to leave her now. So I guess I'll stick it out.
We're staying with Kingdom Hearts for the kids.
What's another $60, Brenda?
Staying with Kingdom Hearts for the kids.
That's basic. I'm just like I want to. It's kind of like one last hurrah. Like, I want to buy it, have it wrap up the story, and then I can just like finally it's over. You know, just be like Frodo dropping the fucking ring in Mount Doom at the end.
You know damn well if this thing succeeds, it's never ever going to
at the
end.
very least, they need to let Tetsuya Nomura have a fucking nap. Okay. The man's been working on this game for way too damn long. Just like, give him like a week off, for fuck's sake.
It's not how Japan works, sir.
I know. The poor man. I hope they loosen the shackles on your desk. You can go back to just drawing characters with too many belts and zippers.
Well, we've gone over Microsoft's entry into E3. I think largely we're in agreement that their strongest showing at E3 in years and possibly best in show.
They needed that win. They really did. And in terms of a solid presentation, congrats, Microsoft. You fucking earned it. You did good.
All right, well, we've got some other game companies to talk about, some other individual games, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll come right back with some more video games for your ear. And we're back. Basement Roadshow is hitting up E3. We're talking about all the big hitters. We're talking about Nintendo. We're talking about Microsoft. And now we're going to get to, I guess, possibly the most talked about portion of E3. And
That's one way to put it.
That would be the Sony presentation. Guys, what the fuck did Sony do at E3?
I really hope someone's getting fired over this.
Someone needs to.
I saw Warren Beatty after this, and he looked incredibly confused.
Everyone hopefully was confused. If you're not confused, it means you knew and you didn't stop it.
You didn't stop this.
Like, this is something, and you know what? I'll be honest. I'm gonna preface this. I thought every trailer, every bit of gameplay that Sony showed was pretty good.
Yeah,
but like,
and we'll get to those.
What the fuck were you thinking?
It's like saying, okay, cool. Sony has decided to give us all a piece of handmade jewelry this year. And each of those games is represented by a very valuable precious stone. And all of them are very, very clear and beautiful and very genuine. And they've done a great job in polishing and cutting these stones. The ring, though, was made out of cat shit.
Yeah, so just like, and for those who didn't watch it, first of all, just fucking don't watch the VOD. Just go watch the individual.
Just watch the trailers.
You'll be much happier.
Watch the fucking trailers.
So to paint the scene, this started.
No, what you need to do is you need to feel like you were in the moment. You need to watch a trailer, then you need to go outside and walk about 3 or 4 city blocks, and then turn around and walk back to your house, and then watch another trailer and repeat.
Do 3 or 4 shots, burn a spliff. I don't care what it is you have to do. Then watch it, because at that point it becomes a comedy and you'll actually laugh at it. If you
Please talk about the opener.
If you make a mistake of watching it sober like I did, you will want to set something on fire.
Luckily, I never make that mistake.
Let's set this scene here, okay? So they cut to the camera in the crowd, and you start to notice, first of all, this venue's a little fucking strange. They are, in fact, in, like, a church set. Like,
not a real church. It's a
not a real church. Just like, we're in Los
Angeles,
made to look so like a church. It's a fake church.
It's weird.
And the guy, Sony, whatever, the Sony Interactive Entertainment president comes up, and he's just like, hey guys, we're not going to show you anything new here. We're just going to show you some stuff about the things you already know, and we're going to enjoy it together. And you're like, okay, that was a little weird. That seems kind of like corporate speak for don't get your hopes up, which probably a good thing to say. And then some guy walks out and plays the fucking banjo.
Yeah, that's when I saw that pop up. I saw the guy playing the banjo, and I'll be honest, I pre-ordered that banjo on Amazon immediately.
But if you pre-order on GameStop, you got a better pre-order bonus. I feel like
the Amazon one has the Last of Us guitar pick, the banjo pick.
Okay,
so,
okay.
I'm pretty excited about it.
See, I really wanted that Crash Bandicoot Didgeridoo to go with it.
Yeah,
so.
It was definitely an interesting approach right out of the gate. Playing the banjo, which really I mean, the guy played almost the entire score of The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, he played for like a few minutes.
Whole fucking minutes. Like,
it was at least 2.5 to 3 minutes, correct?
3 minutes, easy,
uninterrupted.
I don't think like the conference started at like 9 Eastern, and I don't think the first like actual gameplay started dropping until like 9:05. So you went through the intro, then the banjo playing, and then like an awesome gameplay clip. Like, I don't even have any attachment to Last of Us as a franchise, and I almost went and pre-ordered that shit right then and there.
I'll tell you what, hearkening back to earlier when I said I just got my PS4, I'm playing through Horizon Zero Dawn first because I own that game, so I'm playing it and it's fun. I was going to go God of War for my next single-player experience after, of course, I get to Metal Gear Grant. But I tell you what, I had to play The Last of Us as well. I really want to play it now. That trailer sold me on buying the $20, remastered edition or whatever it is that's available, and I'm gonna check that out. I've heard great things about it, and this looks like it. the visuals were really cool when they did the cinematic, but like you were saying, Gordon, that fucking gameplay part was unbelievable.
That was visually, I think, overall, both cutscenes and gameplay, the best looking game of E3. Bar none.
Well, I think Grant's going to argue with you a little bit on that one.
We'll get to that game later. But
yeah.
I think, like, what blew me away, and what almost, I wish they'd shown this game last, honestly, in some ways, because what
They
blew
should
me away
have.
the most...
They should have. They should have put Spider-Man first.
Like, the animation quality and the contextual flow of animations in scenes was unreal. I was, like, chatting with some friends while we were watching it, and one of my friends was literally like, this is fake, right? Like, this is impossible. There's no way they can do this. And they were just fucking doing it. Unreal.
Yeah. It was some of the most visceral gameplay I've seen in a long time.
Part of it makes me think it's scripted because, like, whenever you're hit like that and you react in that way, like, either that's a recycled animation or you've gotten it to the point now where you can have multiple contextual animations depending on where you've been hit. And if that's the case, then, motherfucker, we future now.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, this is like some 20... I think one of my friends said it's like, this is some 2050 shit. Not like some 20 now.
You know what? What I think is interesting is that you're talking about how they show.
Danno Waddell has emerged from his iron lung to speak
I
up.
have, yeah. What they showed The Last of Us too soon this time, and Spider-Man too late. I think they didn't they do the opposite last year? Whereas like The Last of Us 2 was like one of the last things they showed, and it really didn't show. And it was all like cinematic and just creepy violence and stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that you're right.
Spider-Man was the thing that honestly for me last year was like, oh snap, I'm gonna pre-order this game, and I did.
Yeah, that was. I think you're right on that side of things. And I think Last of Us 2 last year, they showed in like a rapid fire segment where they were just showing like teaser after teaser of games we didn't know anything about.
No, wasn't it last year where they showed the chick being hung from the tree or something? And
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
it was some fucking weird shit. Like
it was super brutal. I remember a lot of people like bitched
this
about
shit
how
was
brutal
That
it
way
gameplay
more
was
brutal.
incredibly brutal.
Holy shit! Like
The start of it with that, like she stabbed the dude like right under the jaw, like in the neck throat. I was just like, holy.
Yeah,
I
and then
mean,
they disembowel a guy.
they disemboweled a dude. Like that
Yeah.
shit was fucking.
Yeah, like
what?
Sony goes to church, shows two girls making out, and then like a bunch of really hardcore violence and disembowelment.
This
They
is like
really,
it's a fucking snuff film. Like at the very end, you see a dude get beheaded. Like you only see some shit like that on Live Leak, and only if you click on it by mistake.
Tipper Gore is going to be busting this shit out in Congress.
Oh,
any day
dude,
now.
that's actually
Oh,
not
God.
too far from the truth. I think if they're not careful, this could set off a real bad precedent.
It was uber violent, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
But I mean, really cool. And then we got a dumb, another great
Gordon's a
fucking
sociopath. He
this-
doesn't feel anything about horrible
No,
violence.
no.
I-
Are you talking about what happens after this part?
Oh, I'm talking about like the conference now. I'm moved
Yes,
on. I'm
yes.
just past
Oh
the
no,
violence.
no, preach, brother. This is
Oh
where
my
it gets
God.
fucking good.
So this is where like some dumbass thought, you know what we should do after the church scene? We should move everyone outside to a different venue in the middle of our conference, which we only have an hour for.
So
and
let's
we're going
take
to spend
15 minutes to move all these fucking people. And in the meantime, let's
4
focus
million?
our...
How many million people were watching on Twitch? I heard a couple different numbers.
It's a few million. And the thing is while we have a couple million fucking eyes on us, how about we just take it to the next level and sit a bunch of joyless talking heads at a fucking desk where they can all sniff each other's farts and pat each other's fucking back about how great Sony is.
And, you know, I heard a streamer talk about it. I think it was either today or yesterday's. A guy named Lono, Sadona Rage. He was talking about it, and I think he broke it down pretty well. He's trying to get into that realm of presentation and stuff like that. And he said, he's like, there's 500 people there. There's 2 million watching you as the hosts of those events. Like they need to not play to the crowd. They need to play to their camera. And
Prioritize.
They need to be mindful of that audience as opposed to the 500 dick suckers who are there in the crowd to blow Sony's every move. So I mean, they really needed to cater better, in terms of their presentation. But at the end of the day, Sony still rolled out some fucking badass games. But man, they really missed the mark on how to present them this time. Which
that's the thing.
is
Like,
tone-deaf.
it doesn't matter how many fucking jewels you hand me when my fucking hand's covered in cat shit, asshole.
Well, and what is everybody talking about? Are they talking about the gems? Or are they talking about the cat shit? I mean,
The cat shit's what's smelling up my fucking house right now, you weird motherfucker.
It's a lot of cat shit.
Like, I'll be honest, if Sony had just, like, done a normal E3 presser, just, like, sat in some neon lit fucking theater room with, like, a bunch of weird shapes on the wall and shouted out game titles at us, but showed the same content. You know I'm literally describing every E3 press conference except this fucking Sony one.
Yeah, we want to take you through the stories and the feelings of our developers and what sort of tales they have to tell. Like, god damn it, if you put me in the middle of a fucking Wes Anderson movie again, I will turn your shit off. Period.
Like, oh, okay, and so then we get to the next venue finally after 15 minutes of talking heads.
Was there a tram? Do you think there was a tram?
I think maybe they had that, like, Tesla,
the
like,
world's
Hyperloop
slowest
thing.
tram.
Yeah.
So they did all this, and then it's time for musical guest number 2.
Number 2.
The Japanese wooden flute. Very well.
He played very, very well, but the weirdest thing is the fact there's a fucking big pasty white dude in a fucking straw hat and a fucking kimono playing the shakuhachi.
This guy was like Jethro Tull fucking high on opium. I mean, he was just tripping the live fantastic, and I thought at one point, I don't know if he was having a seizure or what. It was absolutely insane. He was going crazy on that thing. Damn.
And that thing's hard as fuck to play. That's what I don't think a lot of people know is the shakuhachi is really, really hard woodwind instrument to play. And this dude was doing a phenomenal job of it.
Yeah, all of that.
But it does look a little weird when it's a white guy playing in like Japanese garb for a game that takes place in kind of pre-feudal Japan.
Up next on Kung Fu.
Yeah, exactly. And what the big kicker is the fact that it's for a Japanese fucking company.
Yeah.
The irony is not lost on me, dude.
I
like,
wonder
what
where Tumblr is.
What was that?
I have not seen the, like, Tumblr brigade crying out about appropriation yet. But
There's
there's been a few.
There's somebody who's like in the company who's like kid plays the fucking Shakarachi or whatever it's called, who's just like sitting in a corner disappointed because he wasn't good enough because they gave it to an old white dude.
Yes. But to his credit, he did a great job. I'll give him that.
He was the Michael
then they
McDonald of the Shakahachi.
Oh man, all of that to show us a pretty freaking badass game. Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima, congratulations, Sucker Punch, because that trailer last year, I was like, okay, looks cool, no gameplay, and I don't trust a fucking cinematic. But if that's what the gameplay is gonna be,
Whew.
day
Sexy.
fucking one. Day one.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
This is a studio that, like, I always feel like Sucker Punch and the big trifecta of Sony first parties next to Insomniac and Naughty Dog has always kind of been like the middle, the weird offbeat kid. Like, okay, like Sly Cooper was okay, and then they made like some other stuff, and then they made Infamous, and Infamous was just like alright. But now, like, this, oh man, Ghost of Tsushima looks awesome.
This looks
visually great, very stylized look as he's going through everything.
without being like obnoxious too. It's stylistic without being like ostentatious, which is a really hard line to ride.
And just like probably the most historically accurate, like realistic Japanese combat I've ever seen. Like the most realistic like Iaido techniques I've seen. The way they dueled and everything, it was like you were watching like real martial arts exhibitions. This isn't like, we really like the idea of Japan, but like now watch them do a 50-hit air combo. Like this is like, we really like the idea of Japan, so we like sat and studied and mocap people who actually know how to fucking use a katana.
The best part of that entire, like, is I remember looking at it, and you when it first started off, and you see like the leaves, the grass rustling through the breeze. It just looks beautiful. Like there's something dreamlike about the way that looks. And you're like, wow, this is really cool. There's like storm clouds off in the distance and whatnot, and then you see the actual Japanese script come up vertically to tell you where you are, which is very, very like Kurosawa film sort of shit. And I'm like, this is gonna be fucking sick. He runs through this freaking thing on horseback. Villagers are running away from something because it takes place when the Mongols are invading Japan. So this is like what, 1300s?
Yeah, it said something like day 9 of the invasion of the Mongol horde or something like that.
Yeah.
This is reminding me of a question that's brought up in Bill and Ted.
Yes, we know when the Mongols ruled China.
Danno just had to pop in out of his sarcophagus to say
That being said, the thing I thought was cool is you've got this great action, great samurai action, and then after it's all done, dude cleans his sword off before he puts it back in the sheath or whatever. I don't know. I thought that was cool. So
Well, the thing is, you never put the blade back dirty. It's disrespectful to the blade. Like that's a thing.
Yeah.
It'll corrode your blade.
Also that.
Thing is like when he's facing off against those dudes, there's 3 of them, and one guy like comes up, starts talking shit, and you see him like stance up and put his hand on the blade, and I'm like, that's some real shit. Like you see him get into an actual ready stance. This dude charges him and takes a swing. And if you don't know what Iaido is the art of hitting someone with a killing stroke off the draw. So he draws from the scabbard and just busts that dude right across the chest, and he falls like a delayed fall, like a samurai movie would. But when the blood comes off of him, the blood follows the arc of the swing and hits the ground, and it doesn't disappear. The blood has heavier weight than the rain that's falling or the moisture that's on the ground, and it just sticks. That attention to visceral detail, day one, like that is artfully done. And then he goes through and just kicks the rest of these dudes' asses and is like no, not anime style. Just like Gordon said, it's not some anime style fucking samurai battle. This shit is like measured swordplay.
Look away, kids. This entire segment, Grant's had his hand in his pants.
Dude, bro, like I am a nerd for this shit, and like looking at all of the little details, I'm like, these guys did their fucking homework.
Dreams.
Bravo.
Dreams. What'd you guys think of Dreams?
You mean that? You mean the banana guitar?
Showed there for like 5 seconds and was like,
the banana guitar sounds like a sex move.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like bang a ding a ding ding ding.
Yeah,
it's like Dreams, and then it goes to something else.
On Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, I gave her the old banana guitar last
night,
guys.
Oh,
weird.
This one I don't even remember. I watched the entire Sony thing last night.
They didn't show anything. All they did was show these little interstitial pieces between games. It was like, okay, just a reminder that this exists, but like they didn't say anything about it. Like Sony's whole goal was to show off like 4 big games and then kind of like pepper a little bit of stuff here and there, but they really didn't. They didn't come to the show trying to like show off.
They came to show off old white musicians.
Well, luckily that's the last musician of the night, because after that, I forget what they showed off. Oh, that's right, more Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to just like dive into this. And this was like, I'm pretty sure the exact same trailer too, that we had seen previously. So it's just like, okay, we get.
Oh
it.
no, this one was Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh right, that's right. So this was the Pirates of the Caribbean one, which
one was like Frozen or something.
Yeah, so Pirates of the Caribbean was in Kingdom Hearts 2, and it was a lot more forgivable back in like PS2 graphics. And I was looking at it during the presser, and I was like, in HD. The idea of Johnny fucking Depp standing next to Donald Duck just does not work for me. Just super just weird.
This from the guy who's played the entire series. All
I
of a
played the
sudden,
entire
Depp shows
series.
up and he's having problems suspending
Like the art
disbelief.
style. So they did a, what do they call it? Kingdom Hearts 2.8, because fuck your numbers and decimals with this franchise.
That's
and
Japan
they had-
for you.
And they
They gotta-
had like a
I gotta name
prologue.
it something weird.
So they had a prologue that was in Unreal Engine, which is what they're doing Kingdom Hearts 3 in. And I was just like, this doesn't look right. There's something off-putting about this game visually now that it's like high definition, and I can't really place it, but it just hasn't worked. So I really hope that this is the last one, because it needs to fucking die.
Well, we're not getting into that again.
Yeah,
no, we're not, because we're gonna let it die right here.
Thank God.
Speaking of dying and the undead, Resident Evil 2 is coming.
That
Oh,
shit surprised
yeah.
me. I didn't see that coming. I knew they were working on it, but I did not see that trailer coming. And
I'm so hyped.
It looked good.
when it started off, it was like you're getting a weird mouse eye view of some crap that's going on, and I'm like, what kind of fucked up Ratatouille game are we gonna get for this shit? Like, I have
Yeah,
no
they
idea
start
what
that
we're
off
gonna
with,
get
like,
right
the
now.
rat-
Ratatouille,
perspective.
Skid Row.
But then all of a sudden, like, some shit happens and it kills the rat mid fucking thing, and I'm like, oh, this shit went fucking Last of Us 2 level brutal. Okay, what the fuck is going on? And then you see a zombie eat somebody, and he's like ripping his fucking throat out, and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
he rips his throat right the
holy
fuck out.
shit! Like, that was like fucking insane. And then you see like what is it? The patch on the side of his shirt, and it was like Raccoon City Police or something, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, this is Resident Evil. And then all of a sudden you see it turn around and it's Leon, and you're like, not just any Resident Evil, motherfucker, this is Resident Evil 2.
It's the Resident Evil with the best protagonist.
Oh.
And it's so deserving of a remake. I mean, really, all of the like first three are, and it looks like they're doing it without the tank controls. But I think it's gonna have like a more over the shoulder, like Resident Evil 4, 5,
Yeah,
6,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna be like, it's gonna make sense this time.
Yeah, and you're not gonna like be like, hold on, let me like wrestle the controls. Like, let me challenge the controls to an arm wrestle just so I can get myself to walk through a fucking door. And then it turns out I need some convoluted puzzle piece to get through anyway. It looks great. I'm super, super pumped for this game.
Yeah, this will probably be something I gotta check out as well. I love the Resident Evil franchise. I haven't played one in a minute, so it's
That's
definitely
okay. You
something.
probably haven't missed much. Well, I guess Resident Evil 7 was good, but it was very different for a Resident
Yeah,
Evil
that's what
game.
I heard. I heard 7 was unique. I think I played a few minutes of 5, and I loved 4. Obviously, 4 is a pretty darn good one.
Yeah.
I'm still making my way through 1.
Are you doing that like at the same time that you watch episodes of The Wire? Is that why it's taking
Yep,
so
that's
long?
exactly what I'm doing. I watch an episode of The Wire, and then I play a little bit. Well, the problem was I got to a certain point in Resident Evil 1, the PlayStation 4 version, and then I died or lost power. I can't remember which one, and I hadn't saved in a while.
Oh, that's such a motivation killer.
It really is. Grant, that shit just happened to me with Horizon Zero Dawn because apparently when you were here, you logged into my fucking PlayStation when you were downloading, I guess, Metal Gear or something. I was playing as you the whole time. So when I turned it on tonight and signed in as me, I had no fucking progress.
Ooh.
Oh no.
But
Grant, good news. You've got like 3 trophies unlocked for Horizon Zero Dawn under your fucking profile
I didn't
now.
sign into my actual account. That's a good thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. So I feel your pain on losing progress for sure.
That blows.
So then,
What else from the PS4 Sony conference? So we talked about Last of Us 2, Control, another title. Control.
Yeah, this was something.
Control was really
I think
cool.
this might have been the only thing that they really announced that was like new, that we didn't know anything about existence beforehand. And I don't know what the fuck it was, but it was cool as shit. I want to see more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Remedy. I trust them. I mean, to me, it looked kind of like. Has anyone ever played PsyOps?
No, but that is what it looked like visually. Like I've seen some YouTube and stuff like that. That's
Yeah,
definitely the vibe I got.
where she's like controlling shit with like her mind and like the guns, like this weird thing. It's like reassembling and stuff. Like it's like freaking existence or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really intrigued to figure out what it is, but they're not saying what it is.
Oh, you know what game that we missed? I think they showed it in the Xbox conference. Did you guys see the trailer for Metro?
Oh yeah,
Metro looked really
show
cool.
that. I haven't played a Metro game. Like I heard
Neither have
good
I. I've
things.
never played. I've never
I
played
never
any
made
of
it
the
for
titles,
one.
but that it looked really. The art style was cool. The enemies were cool. The weapons looked really cool. Another first-person shooter, but the latest Metro title definitely looked like something that would be interesting to play. So that was just something I think we missed from earlier. But does anyone else want to pile a little bit more shit on Sony before we wrap this one up?
I feel like we probably need to talk a little bit more about Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right.
We need to talk about Spider-Man. We need to talk about Spider-Man, and we definitely haven't talked about Death Stranding yet.
Ooh, yeah.
How could I have moved on? I moved the outline, guys. Then those two are right at the fucking top.
Whoops.
Yeah,
So while we
know.
have those technical difficulties, Spider-Man. I gotta be honest, I'm still super hyped for this game. It was a little disappointing that it was like very cutscene heavy and like not like not as interactive as I would have liked. Like he gets to the end and there's all the villains staring him down, and then the whole thing was just like a scripted cutscene, and I was kind of like, what the fuck? I want to fight these assholes, like for
Right.
real. Even if you do have to show a scripted cutscene at the end of me losing, like just at least give me the satisfaction. But man, they nailed it. And then if you stuck around afterwards, they were showing some live gameplay as well of Spider-Man, and just the traversal and the overall like.
Well, the traversal is everything. It's all about
Right.
webs. If you can't web swing and feel like fucking Spider-Man, then the game will fail. It doesn't matter how cool the enemies are. It doesn't matter about the combat. If you can't swing through the fucking city like Spider-Man, you're just not going to feel it.
And he's doing some fucking like DMC like air combo ass shit. Like he's got
Yeah,
some
he's doing some
launcher
crazy
and, like,
shit.
leaping in there and like doing a bunch of shit. And then like, oh man, it looks like they're just gonna give you a lot of Spider-Man tools, and you're just gonna go around there and do Spider-Man shit. And I'm super down for this when this comes out in September, right?
Yeah, it's coming out in September.
So that's and we know Danno is like our resident Spider-Man
I
fanboy.
do still feel like my pre-order purchase is correct. I couldn't think of the right word.
Yeah, words are tough. Words are definitely tough. Spider-Man's something I'm going to check out for sure. Definitely a host of enemies shown off in that trailer. We had Rhino, Electro, Scorpion, Vulture, and who's the dude in the suit? I forget.
Oh, he's like the main villain too of this game, and I cannot remember his name.
At first, when I first saw the quick flash, I was like, is that fucking Kingpin going to pop out of the fucking helicopter? But it was not Kingpin.
No, his name is something like Mr. Blank, or I can't.
It's like, no, I think it's Mr.
Way to go,
Negative.
Spider-Man expert.
Is it Mr. Negative? Is that it?
Oh yeah,
Like
that's
that?
it. That's it. Mr. Negative. Yep.
Gordon's other nickname. You
Be
definitely.
right back. Changing my Discord name.
Sorry,
Yeah.
he's not a well-known Spider-Man character, so
Yeah.
well, at least for me. So
No, he's definitely a little bit more offbeat, but I think it gives them some good like wiggle room then to tell an interesting story without comic book fans like foaming at the mouth. Like, what do you mean you didn't replicate my favorite arc from the comics?
Yeah, it looks interesting. That one like super move he used where he threw out like 100 different like webs at everybody was really cool. So I'm definitely looking to see what that's gonna feel like. And now I have a PS4, so I can actually play it. Suck it.
Hell yeah, Tim joined the Cool Kids
Okay,
crowd.
Grant, please, somebody, please tell me what the fuck is going on in the Death Stranding trailer.
I put it like this: I don't even think the creator can really tell you what's going on in the Death Stranding trailer. It's there's so
Tank
much
babies.
there's so much to unpack. I don't. It doesn't make any sort of sense, and I think, if I have to be quite honest, I think that is now starting to work in the game's detriment.
Tactical walking simulator. Super excited. Not really.
Yeah, because it's gorgeous.
If I have to do that much walking, I'm gonna be pissed.
The
Like,
game's
it's gonna come with a
gorgeous.
treadmill attachment. It's just that's what they're gonna get you. That would be something Kojima would do.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were going to announce that they had a partnership with Amazon, because it looks like you're just delivering a package or something.
Yeah.
That explains why Norman Reedus's life sucks too, because he gets Amazon wages.
He just knocked up Diane Kruger. I don't know that his life really sucks that
Well,
bad.
like his character in the game, I guess it should be clear. Whatever Sam, whatever the fuck his name is, I don't know.
He had a tank baby and a little spinny satellite thingy, and then he walked a lot.
I don't
And then-
like.
He took a
Yeah.
shower.
There was a lady with the spiky clothes,
With it said fragile on the back.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
and then Grant. There was dinner.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
she-
the
she-
fucking little
she-
thumb bug.
She ate some weird bug that looks like a thumb, that looks like it has legs made of other thumbs, and it is
So glad they
bizarre.
cut out all other
It's
music
bizarre.
and everything, and just let the sound of
the crunching and her chewing, just like, and it's all
chilling.
so David Lynch. Like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm watching.
Just like
This is some Twin Peaks shit I'm watching right now, and I'm like, I have
you know
no
what?
idea
I'm totally cool with like
what this is.
Kojima being like mysterious and like, okay, you gotta like figure it out a little bit, like what the game's about, like story wise and thematically. Like, I'm cool with that. Like, I love when games do that. But what am I doing in the game? Because if I'm literally just like the fucking Amazon courier on this weird sci-fi hellscape, like, count me the fuck out.
Today I'm gonna carry a box. Tomorrow I'm gonna carry a wrapped up body that looks like the body from Vacation when the old lady died and they put her on top of the car.
It's weird, but the thing is what I will say is it leaves a lot of room to show off more about it.
That is the most PR friendly spin I have ever seen.
It
the
does,
good
though.
thing,
It
the
does.
good thing about them not showing us anything is that they could
so the
maybe
fact
show
that they
us
showed
something.
us nothing left the room for some. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Got
it left nothing but room for improvement, and that's
The math
nicest.
checks out.
That's
Started
the
at the
nicest
bottom,
I
now we
can
hear.
be, because at this point, like, after having, how long has Death Stranding trailers been at E3? The past 3 years?
Too long to
3
not show us
years?
anything.
I mean, if
2 or 3, yeah.
if you want to count, like, it's 3 years, I think. Yeah, there's been 3 trailers for Death Stranding before this, right?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
The next one's gonna show him
And-
running.
and-
First one was just Norman Reedus in
On the
tar
beach.
or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like naked with like a baby. or some
crying
shit.
with the baby. So either way, like, this, there's been a bunch of years where this has been a thing, and that's doesn't even freaking count. Like, PT before that, you know what I mean? Like, this is all just like a lead up to what?
I'll admit that part there at the end was pretty scary. You know, when he's
Yeah,
out,
with, like,
he's
the
out in the middle of
shadows and
that shit.
everything.
You could just faintly
pulled
see
the
those
fucking
shadow
ground.
things. Yeah.
But the thing, like, I think it's dope, but I would be remiss to say that it's not incredibly frustrating and to not know something concrete. And to wait this long and to not know something concrete, like, the next time we hear about this game, we better hear something better than that.
Yeah, hopefully Tokyo Game Show we get something.
I'm thinking
know?
they're going to, because I like
There was one very brief clip where his, like, I don't know, he pulled out something and it turned into what looked like a gun. And at that moment, I got like really excited. I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
man, like something's gonna happen. We're gonna see some tactical espionage action, motherfuckers. Let's go."
yeah.
And then nothing.
Look who's never be game over now, guys. Huh?
Like,
Huh?
I mean, I at least wanted to see him shoot some bitches. Okay, look, in an E3 conference that was mostly, as we've pointed out, chock full of just visceral, ugly violence. And Death Stranding. Is
I
just
saw
like,
somebody
nothing
compare
happened.
it to looking like Norman Reedus was hanging out where they shot Prometheus in Alien Covenant.
For a game with the name Death in the title, boy, you sure didn't show much.
Phew, yeah.
Well, that left them room to show more.
That's
what,
right.
What are the chances that this is still a Metal Gear Solid game?
Oh no. I'm so triggered right now.
Although I will say this, beyond that there was very little else to show. No Red Dead Redemption, no Vanillaware mech game updates. I was really pissed about that. They did announce Neo 2, and
Sweet.
that was it. It was a really short little trailer, but
That's the one where the guy like had like his own demon horns he like pulled out of his head or something.
Yeah, and I'm like, that shit was wild. I don't think you've played the original Neo. Like, Neo is really, really good. I don't really like Dark Souls style games, and I fucking love Neo. So to see that there's another one coming out, like, yes, bring me more of that shit. I'm all about it. Other than that, Sony didn't show anything else, and that's kind of where it leaves us.
Yeah, I mean, what they showed was great. Like, honestly, like, really, really high quality. The only thing that really disappointed me was Death Stranding, and I think at a certain point, like, you can chalk it up as me just like not buying into this whole thing. But even for Grant, who's bought into this thing maybe a little too hard, it was
fuck you.
It was like not an appealing trailer. So it's like, eh. But everything else I really liked. Everything I thought they showed is something that is like almost a console selling game in some ways. Like Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, things like that are just like, that's the kind of awesome experience you buy.
Yeah, it definitely one of the first times though we're coming out of E3, and we're talking about a few of the missteps as well for Sony. So that's an interesting position for them to be in. But we've got one more of the big three that we're going to talk about. We're gonna discuss Nintendo and see what the House of Mario is up to, and we're gonna do that in just a few. So we'll be right back. And we're back with the Basement Roadshow's special podcast episode detailing everything that went down with E3. We've hit Sony, we've hit Microsoft, and now we're on to the House of Mario. We're going to talk about Nintendo. Guys, what did you see in the Nintendo presser? Are you happy? Do you think they had a good showing? What are you missing?
They didn't really have to have a good showing, because the one thing they showed the most of practically earned them the win just by default.
Yeah, I mean, you have Smash Brothers. Like, what more do you fucking kids want? Like,
and
okay.
It wasn't just Smash Brothers either. It's the fact that Smash Brothers was called Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. And the reason why it's called Ultimate is because it is essentially every single Smash Brothers game put into a single game.
So for all those Smash kids that are listening to this and maybe didn't get the memo, that means like you can stop your shower boycott. Like, you can shower again. Please shower.
It's every single character that's ever been in a Smash Brothers game, from Nintendo 64 to GameCube to Wii to Wii U to 3DS and now the Switch. Every single character that's ever been in the series, Nintendo or otherwise, which means that you've got characters like Solid Snake, you've got characters like Sonic, you've got characters like Bayonetta and Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII, Ryu from Street Fighter. Like,
they announced Snake will be voiced by the original voice actor,
David
too.
Hayter. David Hayter's
yeah.
coming back as the voice of Snake. My man, David Hayter. Metal Gear. Like, dude, I can't wait. Like, and I'm not that big of a fucking Smash Brothers fan, but man, watching that, I was getting hyped. Like, I was really, really glad to see that pop off. Like, that was a big surprise.
Do you think that Smash is going to move some switches on its own?
I mean, all of the tournament organizers that have to deal with that are gonna have to buy Switches now, and they figured that shit out. I think also Nintendo announced a new version of the fucking GameCube controller to sell along that shit. So
I'm trying to figure out how the hell it is you're gonna be able to plug up freaking 4 fucking GameCube controllers to a single Switch.
There will probably be a like dock
USB
add-on
hub or
thing,
some shit
USB
like
hub
that for
thing,
that.
whatever. I'm sure someone will figure it out.
What else did we see? Super Mario Party?
Super Mario Party. The like only super interesting or like notable thing about this is that you'll be able to link up 2 Switches, like the screens. So they showed like both the screens like laid down and like connected to each other, playing one game. Which like that's pretty.
That's kind of cool.
That's kind of
Yeah.
cool, I guess. It's Mario Party. I mean, do you like Mario Party? Yeah, go buy
Yes.
it. It might be good. I know, like
Hell of an
lot
ad man, that Gordon Kirshner.
Yeah, I mean,
He's going to
some of
be
the
on
last
Madison
few-
Avenue any day.
Any day selling ads. I mean, some of the last few Mario Parties have done like weird, unique things that people haven't really gotten behind. I actually really liked the Wii U one. I know a lot of people didn't.
I don't think I played that one. The last one I played was all of the versions on the GameCube.
Right. I played that one. I liked it because it had like a 1 versus 4 mode where like one person controlled Bowser and then like fucked with the other people as they were trying to like go through and complete the board, which was really interesting. So this will be cool. I mean, Mario Party is kind of just like, you know, you gotta check that box and have that stuff on the Switch. So let's get it out there.
Fortnite announced on the Switch. It's already playable. It went live immediately, and so the kids are whipping out their Switches and playing Fortnite. From what I understand, I think it's 30 frames per second, which some iPhones can actually run it faster than that. So
They'll get there.
I'm sure they will. You know, to be honest, consoles weren't 60 frames per second on Fortnite in their original iterations that came later in an update, months later, actually, after the Battle Royale title became incredibly popular. So I'm sure they'll figure out a way to smooth that resolution down on Switch with it just launching today. So I'm sure that's something that will be seen in other places. But I mean, Fortnite is literally fucking everywhere there's a screen now.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any situation where I would like consider probably playing Fortnite, it would be like laying in my bed with the Switch in handheld mode. So I mean, that's
the guys
good
who are
sell.
good at Fortnite are pretty happy right now because it's littered with a landscape of potato young kids
I bet.
trying it out for the first time, and they're just slaughtering people. So
I'm sure.
Fortnite has gotten quite the skill gap going these days. But Fire Emblem, guys.
I really like this series. I've been playing Fire Emblem since the first US entry, which is technically the 7th Fire Emblem, but who's counting? You did it eventually. I really like tactics RPGs in general, and this one just like visually looked awesome. Like the gameplay they showed off, it almost looked like Dynasty Warriors, but it was like a tactics
looks
RPG.
cool. It looks really cool.
Looks awesome. So I'm pretty much sold. I hope, I mean, this is like vain hope, but I would hope that eventually they focus a little bit less on like the waifu bait that is like taken over Fire Emblem and a little more on like hardcore tactics RPG, but we'll see. Also, I would kind of hope that they would stop milking Fire Emblem and make another Advance Wars title, but I'm getting ahead of myself on that.
No, you're not getting ahead of yourself. You're preaching the fucking truth right now.
But
I
That
think
was,
I think
yeah.
from what I've seen and from what I've heard from you guys, Grant, you're definitely more interested in what wasn't at the Nintendo conference this year. Some titles you were looking to see, something teased last year, and we saw nothing.
More surprised than I am disappointed. Nintendo doesn't have to rely on E3 quite as much. Usually most of your other companies kind of rely on E3 to give out their big, hey, here's what's coming, here's some stuff you knew about, but now we're finally showing off, and here's some stuff you're hearing about for the first time. And Nintendo, and the way they do their Nintendo Directs, they don't really rely on that. And I've found that Nintendo doesn't really treat E3 with as much weight anymore. I think Sony doesn't either. I think they save a lot of their best stuff for the Tokyo Game Show because I think home field advantage, you know. I was surprised that we did not see Metroid Prime 4. I was surprised that we didn't see anything about that, especially after
All we've seen thus far is what, a stylized 4?
a fucking logo.
Yeah.
Like, we saw a logo, and that was last year, and I was really hoping we'd see something else about it this year. I understand why we didn't, especially with the fact that I would say a good 3/5 of that Nintendo Direct was all Smash Brothers. which they went in depth on some Smash Brothers, which I'm glad that made the Smash fans happy, and it'll definitely sell systems. But
You got to placate those guys.
Metroid Prime 4 is a total no-show. Like that kind of bothered me. Not seeing another year, another E3, another not seeing F-Zero. I'm beginning to think Nintendo doesn't actually love me.
Zero F-Zero.
Zero F-Zero, man. What I also think is kind of fucked up is the fact that it's like, what's that fucking game that they showed off that's like Skylanders but spaceships?
Oh yeah, they've got fucking Star Fox in it.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
like,
Star Fox is in that shit.
Fucking Fox McCloud is in it. You can actually play Star Fox in that, but I can't actually play like Star Fox. Like, I played Star Fox Zero on a buddy of mine's Wii U. I like it, but I don't love it, and that hurts me to say because it's a platinum developed game, and I love Platinum, but having to utilize that funky freaking gamepad for like shooting sucked, and I just want a real Star Fox game. And the fact that I see that, it's almost like a slap in my face, like, hey, how about a cracker, starving guy? Like, fuck you, dude. Like, I want my Nintendo games to come back. I want a new Pilot Wings. I want a new freaking, I mean, fuck, you got all this freaking stuff to like dig into and resurrect, and we're just gonna keep harping on this fucking Smash Brothers fucking shit and Mario Party.
Speaking of resurrection, the Nintendo 64 retro console?
No show.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of like Nintendo probably had the most like rumored stuff, and there's some pretty wild rumors, including like a Star Fox like racing game and some other like weird ass shit.
I'm so glad that didn't fucking come to pass.
like I'm good on that, but like some other stuff that was like, oh yeah, an N64 like mini console or whatever for retro stuff. Man, I mean, I get like Smash has got to have its day in the sun, whatever, but like, man, where's the rest of it?
I mean, do you think they just don't have anything to show about Super Metroid or at the Metroid Prime 4 at this point?
No, I don't think they have nothing to show. I think they have nothing they feel like showing right now.
Is F-Zero... I haven't heard any announcements on F-Zero. Is that being developed?
There were rumors that there was
Big
maybe
rumors.
something.
But that's all we have right now is smoke and no fire?
Yeah,
Yep.
bunch of smoke, no fire. And the thing is me being, I mean, I've loved F-Zero since 1991. So like I hear the words F-Zero whispered in my ear, and all my hair stands up on end. I'm like, oh shit!
Who's
really?
doing
Where,
that
where,
to you?
Where?
Who is whispering F-Zero?
I'm gonna
in your
whoop
ear?
their ass if they
You
do
might
it
actually,
again.
you might actually want to ask some questions. Maybe get a home security system.
Yeah, because I don't play fucking games with my heart. Weird people.
Shit.
but,
Well,
but yeah,
that was definitely a conference that was dominated by Super Smash Brothers. It's definitely a title that's going to prove to be incredibly popular for
it's
the
going
Nintendo
to sell
Switch.
systems. It's going to sell systems.
And they've already seen up until this point the two marquee franchises in Zelda and Mario had their entries. So now it's time. But I agree, Samus has to get her day in the sun as well. And I definitely want to see some stuff because that's really the only console I have left to buy. So I'll have to get that shit figured out at some point. But that's probably going to wrap it up for Nintendo. We've got some odds and ends that we're probably going to tinker with here and wrap up this spectacular E3 special edition episode of the Basement Roadshow podcast. We'll be right back. Back on the Basement Roadshow podcast. We're here to give you our final impressions and some quick hits on E3. Everything's pretty much wrapped up. What are some of the things you guys want to get into really quick? What about Bethesda? Bethesda was awesome, correct?
Bethesda was great.
Bethesda did a good job.
They showed off some teasers for things that will hopefully get at some point a new sci-fi thing. So like the first like actual like spacey sci-fi thing we've ever seen from them. Elder Scrolls 6, so people can stop asking about when Skyrim is coming. And I love how they showed that like Key and Peele bit for Skyrim very special edition on Alexa. That was fucking brilliant.
It's
I love
real.
how self-aware they were.
It's real.
Is that real? Like I can download. I don't have an Alexa. I'm not even gonna worry about that. Smart homes are dumb.
That I want to say that's real. Like I saw a news story saying that you can actually get that on Alexa. Like
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And then
I love how self-aware they are.
I know. And then they had like the mobile Skyrim that's like, or like mobile Elder Scrolls game. Now everyone just calls Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I feel so bad for the last 4 Elder Scrolls before that. That actually looked like a real interesting, fun, like full-fledged 3D game on phones. So good for them. Great conference with those. So you go.
You got to give it to these companies. I mean, if we can really start nailing mobile gaming too, and maybe stuff that Fallout's actually made attempts at trying to do some stuff with like Fallout Shelter, that maybe isn't quite having the same game in your hand, but maybe an accompaniment, a game that that you can play and is fun and adds something to the world that you play when you're on the bigger screen. I think that can only help enrich the gaming community for sure. EA guys, EA.
Oh god.
EA, they're still the enemies of the video game business currently.
There's excellent, there's good, there's passable, there's bad, and there's holy fuck shit. What was that?
Yeah, wow. So
and that's where EA was this year.
I came into that wanting like one thing and one thing only, and I'm pretty sure everyone else was the same. I wanted more info on fucking Anthem. Okay.
Anthem.
Somehow they managed to show less about Anthem in terms of gameplay than they did at last year's E3. That shouldn't even be fucking possible.
How do you pull that off?
I want to play Anthem. I want Anthem to be good, but I have listened to fucking a bullshit narrative that Anthem is the Destiny killer for a fucking entire year based off of one bullshit 90-second clip shown last year at E3, and we got nothing else.
Yeah.
Do you know what we got this year, though? Instead of all of this wonderful talk about Anthem and showing us really what that game has done in the past 12 months of fucking development time, we got to see 2 freaking not corporate sponsored pasty white dudes play with each other in a fucking bastardized version of Command and Conquer for 5 uncomfortable minutes.
That was super weird, with like the shout casting and everything.
Oh my fucking god!
But that's not even the most
uncomfortable.
That wasn't even the most uncomfortable part about the EA press conference, because instead we had to zoom in on fucking Vince from Respawn in the crowd.
Yeah.
And now the most memeable picture of E3 to not even show us a fucking logo for a new Star Wars game.
Hey, there's a new gangster freaking Star Wars Lost Order game that we're working on. Nothing to really show you, but I should honestly be wearing a fanny pack right now.
Have you guys heard of Madden?
Oh god. Oh yeah, this is one thing I was actually just vaguely interested in. If
they announced a sequel. They announced a sequel to Madden.
God, what?
They announced that it's coming to PC though.
They did announce that,
which is
hopefully
huge.
Mods, because if EA is not going to deal with the legal trouble that making a new NCAA football game would bring them, then let the fans do it. Fuck it. That's all I've got to say on that. And then they announced Battle Royale for fucking Battlefield 5 to no one's surprise. It took 6 minutes of E3 to announce a fucking Battle Royale mode.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, it was a lot lighter on Battle Royales than everybody thought it was going to be.
That's true. It was not like, hey everyone, here's our version of a Battle Royale. I think people are realizing that shit's not gonna fly.
So Ubisoft,
UB40 was doing pretty good. UB40 Soft did pretty good.
Yeah, they're going
right.
ahead and busting out another Assassin's Creed off the right off the heels of the hit Assassin's Creed Origins that came out last year. That came out
last
in ancient
year,
Egypt.
like another
October.
year later, like
October.
It's a year later, and you're coming out with another one. Like, dude, just fucking stop.
I think they're better when they take a little bit more time between them. But Origins was one of the best. Origins was one of the best received in the entire franchise. So, I mean, it's definitely still a successful franchise that is viable from a sales standpoint. But now we're going to ancient Greece So
Yeah.
there's going to be Spartans and Romans and shit like that, which is another cool premise. I still got to get into Origins, to tell you the truth. I haven't played it yet, but it's on my list.
There
Three?
was one of the statues they showed in the Assassin's Creed stuff that I could have swore it looked like they used Will Ferrell's face as like the model.
That would be a brilliant troll.
That would be a stark departure from Assassin's Creed Origins, which was basically like an historical representation of Egypt. That you could play a game mode where you would shut off the game mode and it just became a history lesson.
Yeah, that was really actually super cool. So I gotta give him props for that.
Something like that in ancient Greece would be super interesting as well. I think those
agree.
kind of applications need to pop up in games even more and have them, maybe we could start using them for good and not just for evil, in terms of what other people see them as just time wasters. I think that can help change the perception a little bit if, that's those kind of things are showcased that, hey, Mom, guess what I learned about, today? I learned about the Sphinx and I learned about the Pyramid of Giza. And did you know that this was built in this time? Like, to come off with that stuff. Where'd you learn that in school? No, I learned it on my video game. Like, that's the kind of stuff that can change perceptions and, just be great for the medium that, the four of us just love to entertain ourselves with and see that potential in every day.
That's and then your kid comes to you and is like, yeah, and this guy named Kingdom Hearts told me all about this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. Yeah, I mean,
he's still standing in the driveway with a fucking boombox right now.
Playing a whole new world. What
else did they even show at Ubisoft? They showed Division 2.
The
Which
Division
looks
2
just like the Division
looks
1.
Really, yeah, it looks cool though. I think that's that's a hell of a resurrected game. That game was on fucking life support, and with the help of their community, with the help of some of the content creators, they really took a hard look at it and turned it around. And some of the updates,
good for them.
Some of the updates were incredibly well received, and Division's player base actually picked up incredibly at the end of its life cycle. And I had a hard time attaching to the game. I know a lot of people like it. It's a great gear game. Shooting someone with a machine gun who's wearing a hoodie and emptying 5 fucking clips into him it got tiresome for me, but a lot of people really liked it. The gear was really cool. How all the gear worked was awesome.
It got better. I mean, supposedly, like right now, Division 1 is in like a really good place.
Yes, it's supposed to be an amazing place.
To go back and try. It's just like timing and all that. It's never really aligned. So I don't know if they don't pull. Sorry, Tim. If they don't pull a Destiny 2 and they fully learn from all of the lessons they've learned in Division 1, I think it could be a really good game.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, I think if to be perfectly honest with you, Destiny borrowed a page from the Division and took the same type of approach in fixing their game after their disastrous launch of Destiny 2. Bungie finally, did the same thing and brought in members, content creators from Twitch, content creators from YouTube, and other people from parts of the Destiny community to talk about how to actually fix the fucking game. And we'll see more of that. And that's actually something we didn't talk about.
I was just about to say, we actually didn't talk about that because that was part of the Sony conference.
Yeah, Destiny 2 actually did a full reveal of the Forsaken, which will be their year 2 expansion coming in September. And they gave us a lot. They gave us an hour-long Twitch presentation on June the 5th. And so we didn't have a whole lot of expectations about what we might see at E3. And out of fucking nowhere, in the middle of the PlayStation dealio, they showed just a story cinematic, and it sent unbelievable ripples through the Destiny community, as it looks like the most popular character in the universe, voiced by Nathan Fillion himself, Cade 6, looks like he's getting murdered by a character returning from Destiny 1, Prince Uldren. So that was that was honestly shocking for everyone. Cade has been a big part of the push of Destiny. He's the guy who brings reverence to the Destiny universe and around the rest of the
He's the best character.
Yeah, the seriousness. And honestly, it is the biggest emotional hit that can be taken in the Destiny universe right now. And it looks like Bungie's saying, fuck it, we're going to do it. And all signs are pointing to it being 100% he is fucking dead with no way to come back. We'll see that it's a story that centers around resurrecting Guardians, but his ghost was shown as shot, and the ghost is what resurrects you. And so if it was truly destroyed, that will be Cade's last death. And I think as sad as I would be to see him gone, it's something that could take Destiny in the right direction for this new DLC.
Yeah, definitely could be interesting. And then Square Enix at a press conference.
Well, hold on. I will say, though, just one last thing about the fucking Destiny community. There's just so much infighting and all kinds of other bullshit, and just everybody's been at each other's throats and stuff, even though the Warmind DLC was much needed in a much better direction for the game. But, still arguing about shit. They released that fucking trailer, and everyone is united and wants to fucking kill this character in the game who killed Cade. Like, everyone is just, like, Reddit is just, that's all it's talking about. Everyone has it out for this guy. So I think a lot of people are going to be back in just because they're killing off this fucking beloved character. So it should be interesting. Square Enix, did they really have a presser? Gordon?
Yeah, that was all I was actually going to say. I was just going to say they had a conference, and then I was just going to move on from it.
They had a conference, and for some reason,
wait,
it was
one
just
thing happened
Kingdom
at
Hearts.
it.
Kingdom Hearts that was sitting there with a boombox.
Yeah, they were like, "Yo, what's up, kids? We're hip with the youth." No, they did show one thing that was actually vaguely interesting, which is a new Platinum Games title.
Oh
That
yeah,
seemed pretty interesting. I can't actually remember what it was called, so maybe it wasn't that interesting.
no. I can pull up the name real quick. I remember what it is.
Oh,
It was like-
God.
It was fantasy themed. It looked sweet. At least like from the trailer was very aesthetically pleasing, even though it was just cinematic. And it's Platinum Games.
Babylon's Fall.
Babylon's Fall. Yeah, so that could be cool. That's all
Coming
I got.
from the creator of Bayonetta.
Yep. That's all I got.
I'm like, all right, I'm down. Because
Yeah,
the
fuck it.
thing is, I mean, not everything Platinum makes, because I can't say that, but just about everything Platinum makes, I enjoy. And I'll definitely give a chance to. So I'm down for this.
Yeah. But that was honestly all that Square Enix showed me. That
there was no Avengers, so who cares?
there's no Avengers, there's no FF7 remake, there was just like more Kingdom Hearts. Man,
Yeah.
Disney really invests. I feel like that was some Daddy Disney money there that just like
I agree.
got
I
that
think
going.
what's super weird is the fact that we got that Final Fantasy VII remake trailer that set the fucking world on fire, 2 years ago?
No, wasn't it? Well, the like actual gameplay and stuff. That was last E3, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like
that's right. They showed the
yeah.
last E3. They showed like gameplay from it, which
Yeah.
and since then nothing. It's been all quiet on the Western Front, man. I'm like, that's not a good sign.
Well, supposedly to us, there was like I think a Kotaku article that was posted recently that was like, oh hey, they're doing a bunch of hiring for the FF7 remake project, which was like, guys, you showed us gameplay already. Like this should be like churning out. You already fucking told us you're gonna split into 3 goddamn parts. Just give us this shit. We've wanted this shit since that fucking PS3 tech demo you cock teased us with.
Yeah, back in like 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
That is fucking insane, man. Like this is why you don't fucking tease people.
Oh shit, dude! I just got a text from Kingdom Hearts. You up?
Oh well, you know.
You up?
Oh man, they're really investing.
He's trying to fuck you.
They're really investing in this shit. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know I don't have anything else to add. It was an interesting E3. I'm excited to get my hands on some new Vigi games for sure in the end of 2018, 2019, and beyond. You guys have anything else to add?
No, I think we've pretty much beaten that dead horse enough.
I think we have. So
Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima for president.
So, well, for Gordon Kirshner, for Danno Waddell, on who's I still believe on life support, for my co-host or ho-host, Grant Patterson, and for Kingdom Hearts.
Yep, Ho-Coast right there, boy.
For Kingdom Hearts, I'm your host, Tim Smith. Thanks for listening to the Basement Roadshow podcast. Check us out, our YouTube channel, Basement Roadshow. Check us out on Twitter at Basement Roadshow. Drop the W. And in any of those places, you should be able to find some of the rest of us guys and our Twitter handles and such. So, as always, thanks for listening. Smash that like button, and we'll catch you on the med side. Cool breeze. We out.
He's trying to fuck you.